Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and delight all over the world. This is Reverend Eliot coming to you live from the city of New York, where, not even 24 hours ago, I was screaming in agony. That's just a medical thing, but it went away. It finally went away. But if my voice is a little raspy today, that's because I was screaming in agony. It's just a thing with pain, you know. I mean, I don't mind. I can deal with pain. It's this kind of pain I can't deal with, which is intermittent pain, pain that comes and goes every few seconds, even if it's a minute or so, you know, ugh. It's just, how do you ignore that? How do you wipe that out? I'm very good with chronic pain. I demonstrated that to a dentist once who didn't believe me. So I said, listen, you're going to put a filling in, right? He said, don't use any Novocaine. He was horrified. I said, just watch. Just give me a moment to get ready, and I'll show you. And he was able to drill without any Novocaine because it was just a steady pain. I can deal with that. I have ways of dealing with that mentally, but when it starts and stops, ugh, so I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to be with you here tonight because the pain was awful, and I know it usually goes away after one day, and I'm glad that it happened before today because I miss too many shows. I don't like that, and I like doing this. I enjoy being with you. I enjoy reading with you. It's one of my favorite things to do. But screaming in agony kind of ruins it for me. So I don't want to do that anymore. I'd really rather not be screaming in agony. So you know, I've got nothing new to report today. You know, nothing. Everything is usual. It's normal here. I mean, the city people, we have an election coming up, and believe it or not, I've heard this. You ready? This is the most important election of our lifetime. You don't hear that very often, do you? Well, you know, when you get to be my age, you'll know that they all say that. It's always the most important election of our lifetime. But, you know, that's a long lifetime I've been having. So, yeah, I mean, you know, so, you know, we vote and then what, you know, then we get to pick somebody we can complain about for 4 years, and then we vote for somebody else. This has been an interesting election cycle because we have a person who ran on one party line who's actually a member of another party, and the only other person in the race from that party has already lost to that guy, and he's calling on the person from another party to leave the race. I'm being cryptic only because I want to avoid specific politics here. I don't want to get into, you know, the news, so to speak, because you can get that stuff everywhere. You know, you turn on anything on YouTube, or you turn on anything in media, and you're going to get this was the most insert your adjective of our lifetime, you know, or noun, you know, insert noun. This is the most adjective noun of our lifetime, you know. So I don't know. I spent too much time in media myself, so that I know that it thrives on fear. Everything about it is fear. I mean, even the hit shows, comedies, you know, that's fear of feeling left out. They want people to feel that they're missing something. There's a very strange factor there because there was a television show. This happened twice I can think of in my lifetime, in the most important thing in my lifetime. There was a television show called The Waltons, which you may remember, which was a nice little homespun, happy-go-lucky show. And then there was Seinfeld. And they both have something in common, which is that their ratings were abysmal. Nobody was watching the show. But in each case, the head of the network kept it on because he liked it. Okay, so, you know, that's valid, I suppose. I mean, it's a little bit outside of the realm of the fiduciary responsibility of an executive to do something that will lose stockholders' money. But a curious thing happened. It happened first with, it was noticed with the Waltons, and then it was replicated years later with Seinfeld. After they'd been on each of them for a couple of seasons, people just assumed that they were popular, the shows, and that they were missing out by not watching it. And they both became massive hits after being a failure at the outset, purely because the head of the network liked the shows and wanted to keep them on. So people thought that these shows they must be good, or they would have been canceled 2 years ago. Well, you see how that works? It's an advertising technique called, there's alternately, they call it fear of missing out these days, but it's called the bandwagon. You haven't bought my shaving soap yet? What are you waiting for? Everybody, that kind of thing. You don't need that. It's silly. But that's how it works. That's how marketing works. The bandwagon is one of the big techniques, which is essentially fear of being left out. Then there's the appeal to authority, which is another logical fallacy. But there's also, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend, and then that's silly. Now I happen to know that there is a publication that's dedicated to consumerism in the best sense of the word, an informed consumer. And I got into an argument years ago with a guy about this because they had a reputation for never endorsing products. Well, we got them in the company I worked for to endorse a product because they were also our clients. So it wasn't really kosher, but they did. And, I'm not going to go into any more details on that because it was a long, long, long time ago. And the days when I was working in marketing are just so foreign to me now. I mean, I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed the people. I had a good time. I actually did meet some celebrities on the way up, and I met some on the way down too. That was eerie. I mean, big name media people on the way out, but they did jobs for us, talking on the telephone for people. So, maybe I'll write a book. I don't know. I'm trying to write about a nice friendly encounter I had with a nubile young lady in 1978, which is probably before all you guys were born. But I'm trying to figure out how I can write this without appearing like a can. And I had the stride, I had the rhythm going, and I have all my notes, but that was when the computer crashed. Do you think that's an omen? That was when the computer crashed, and I had to get a new computer, and then that involved its own problems because so many things that I use are obsolete. So I had to get adapters so that I can plug them in. It was a mess. But now I've lost the rhythm there. But it's dedicated to all the people out there who think that the woman who's portrayed in Breakfast at Tiffany's is a role model. I can do without. That's what I would say. I've met too many screwball dames in my life. I mean, real wacky ones to even want to deal with that. I guess I see. It seems to me. I mean, I'm surprised that I've been married now for like 40 years, because usually I'm just a magnet for neurotic women. That's about it. Now, I'm not blaming them. I mean, there's something in me too that is pulling us together. And don't get me wrong, we had a lot of great times. And I'm not saying that my particular 40 years of marriage has been dull. Oh God, anything but dull. One of my favorite moments was we went to a celebrity type party, complete with a row of paparazzi that wanted to take pictures of all the famous people coming in and out. Well, I assure you that my wife and I were not in that category. We just got in that because I was a media insider, so to speak. So when we got to the line, we got to the thing where it was at the Metropolitan Museum of all places, and when we got there, I said, "Cover your face, just cover your face, cover your face." And we did that on the way in, and then we could not lose the photographers all night after that. I mean, they wanted to know everything about us, even though we were, to put it mildly, nobody, and it turned out, of course, that the particular publication that had the exclusive rights to the event named me the best dressed person at that gathering, believe it or not. It was interesting. I mean, we met a lot of interesting people there, and we met a lot of nasty people too, but because they want to know who the hell we were, but we were nobody. That's the key to faking it. Just act like you're somebody, act like you're famous, act like you're a big star, and they'll fall for it every time. And it's just, especially in New York, don't ever, 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 ever let anybody tell you that New Yorkers are sophisticated people, because we are the country bumpkins that we like to put down. That's who we are. I've known so many con artists who have taken people for a fortune simply by pretending to be somebody. There was a guy going around the city years ago saying that he was, oh gosh, what was his name? He claimed to be the son of a great country western singer type. And no, it was phony. It was, we knew it was phony, but I did meet some interesting people in my town. I met the boxer Tex Cobb the night after he lost a championship fight. And let me tell you, man, they don't show you this stuff in the movies, but a heavyweight boxer who goes the distance does not look very healthy the next day. You know, he looked like he'd been beaten up, which of course he was. But but it was fun to see him, and we got along pretty well, I hope. Well, I have all I he didn't knock my teeth out anyway, so no, the thing is, I've met so many famous people who are very nice that I've come to believe that most of them are quite secure and just normal people. A few of them are definitely screwballs, but that goes for every profession. That's something else I may write about some point. It's if you look at my blog, which you'll find, go to magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and just click on the thing that says my blog and search around there. You'll find little stories here and there, and I'm working on a few others. There's a wonderful story about the time my mother completely embarrassed herself in an elevator. You'll have to read that one. It's just look for the episode. I'll put a link to it at Twitter or X, but you'll look for the episode there in my blog about Life magazine, which is I used the Life magazine logo in the headline about Tales from My Life, and there's a reason. You'll see why. Well, I think we're shuffled up now, and I think if I have any nervousness left about whether or not my voice is working, I can put that to rest because it seems to be functioning. I kind of gave myself the day off because spending 24 hours screaming in agony, that's no fun for my neighbors either. So I don't know. When this particular condition first hit me, it was way, way worse. And I would, every single night, I felt like I was being dipped in fire, and I would start screaming. Uh, I would start screaming appeals to the deity in the middle of the night, and I'm convinced to this day that my neighbors felt that I was running some kind of an orgy. But no, it was just pain, good old-fashioned agony and pain. But I've got it under control pretty much. But sometimes it springs up, and when it does, in order to give you a rough idea of the pain, when it first hit me, I had the presence of mind to realize that this is probably where the rumors about voodoo dolls and sticking pins in them came from, because that's what it feels like. One little teeny piece of your body is getting knifed repeatedly. Hey, geez, forget it. I mean, were I the type to walk around armed, not saying I am, I don't know that I could knife somebody, even if it was a life or death situation, because I know what it feels like to get the simulacrum of being stabbed repeatedly. I've had that happen to me way too many times. So anyway, here we are. You can tell I'm a little nervous because I'm babbling, but I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I got through it, and I'm glad I'm here to share readings with you. Now, I guess this is becoming a nervous habit. I ought to stop that. Good cards, good cards. Just stay where you are. I am now going to heartburn. See, that's one of the side effects of the painkillers is heartburn. And let me tell you, I take such serious painkillers that I'm on a police list. I don't like that, but every now and then they need to check up to see if I'm a criminal. I kind of resent that about my own government, which I've spent years financing, and I don't like that. Anyway, that is neither here nor there because there's not a thing I can do about that. So why don't we pull back the curtain and keep doing this? Well, on the magical window. And I'll do what I usually do to signify sacred space, even though I haven't done much selling. I'm not, I had a very successful week sales-wise. Some wonderful person bought loads of my amulets and talismans from Zazzle. Go to magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and take a look at occult jewelry. Because it's nice stuff. This was one of the first pieces. This was the first piece I made. I think it's the first pentacle of the sun, and it's well, you'll see what it's for if you take a look at magic-works.com, and remember that's magick-works.com, and you just had to sneak a plug in there, didn't you? And go to occult jewelry, and you'll see it. There's a large selection there, and if there's some kind of a magical sign or sigil that you would like that you don't see, feel free to let me know, and I'll make it for you. I'll do it, no extra charge, obviously. And these are very reasonably priced, and I just like doing them and seeing people enjoy them. So we're gonna now ring that bell. And pull back the magical curtain for Barbara in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, Eliot. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm okay, thank you.
Well, let's see what we can do to make that better. How's that? What can I look at for you?
That would be fantastic.
Well, I'll do my best. What can I look at for you?
Thank you. I'm just wondering if you're feeling anything that's coming through, possibly from my mom and dad, in regards of my health. I just recently got diagnosed with CLL, and it's not that's bothering that much. It's more of the symptoms that I get with that, and I'm, I guess, relishing for my parents, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, let's see. The first card I've got is an interesting card, and I don't know how it fits in here yet, but it's the Hanged Man. And that is about people who've sacrificed something for something else in life and made a sacrifice. Now, the interesting thing about the Hanged Man is that almost everybody who looks at that card here, if you see the video feed, you'll see it at some point. When you turn it upside down, it looks like he's dancing. And almost everybody turns that upside down. So it refers to a sacrifice that you do willfully, and that you know that it's something good is going to come out of it. So it could be that your parents, have they sacrificed for you over the years? Is that possible? I mean, I know there are times my parents did. So there could be something like that.
Yeah, they are both passed,
So
and
they, mhm.
um,
Well, that could
yeah,
be
I'm
a
just
message.
wondering if they, yeah, if there's any kind of feeling that I guess that they're sending away that I'm going to be okay, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, no, that absolutely does, because that's one of the messages I do get from these kind of readings. The Knight of
Okay.
Rods is here. Um, the Four of Coins is here. These are interesting cards. I don't see how they fit in just yet, but
Hmm.
the Six of Cups is here, which is memories of childhood, which is memories
Yes.
of a time past, and they're good memories, and sometimes it signifies meeting somebody from those days. I'm going to cut
Mm-hmm.
the cards and see if I can get something a little more precise here. Well, here's a good. This is the Ten of Cups is a
Okay.
happy family.
Mm.
That okay? So that tells
Okay.
me there was. Now this is a card I always get when there are certain cards I look for when I'm doing past life readings, and I always get this card, even though
Okay.
it's not specifically like the Death card or that kind of thing. This is the Nine of Swords, which is of great sadness and sorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
there's an awareness from this departed spirits that there's sadness that they're leaving. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune, which says that that's going to change. The sadness will change. The Page of Cups there is a card about experiencing a new level of emotional well-being. So that goes in with
Okay.
what you were saying, which is a message that the
Right.
message that I'm getting is you'll be okay. Okay, that is exactly what I have here. Um, the World is
Well,
here.
that's
That's
a
a
great
card.
feeling.
The card of the World is the card of assured success and happiness. So what I'm seeing here, I
Mm.
mean, I'd have to go back and look at those other cards to see how they fit in, or if it's just random, sort of background psychic noise. But I mean, the
Okay.
Knight of Rods means that something new is coming your way in terms of work and career and the kind of work you do. And these things. I started a business very
Hmm.
late in life, so who knows, right?
Okay.
And the Four of Coins is a person who knows how to nurture their money. Let's say a very careful
Mm-hmm.
financial person. You're not reckless. They may
Yes,
even
that's true.
there may be people who think you're cheap, but you're not. You know that, and I know
Yes,
that. But when they say you're
that's
cheap, it
true.
means that they're not getting enough out of you, right? So you're just,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but you're extremely responsible person. Now, this may fit on well. This is the Death card. That is almost mandatory when I do a reading like this, that's going to show up.
Okay.
Because we're dealing with a past life. So the next card is the Chariot, which is an interesting thing. They,
Hmm.
they they seem to be pointing to me that you're dealing with conflicting forces. You're going to be, because this is a person who's handling, literally on the card, it's a black horse and a white horse. One wants to go this way, one wants to go that way, and you have to control all these things. Now you're going
Yes,
through a
yes,
you're going
yes.
through a medical episode, correct? So you
Yes,
have a
it's
lot,
chronic CLO.
yeah, and you have a lot to deal with and a lot to
Yes.
control. And look, I know that too. I'm there too. I mean, I'm under constant medical treatment, for what
Yeah.
I've got, which is terminal, but they're keeping me going.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
so sorry.
well,
Well, my leukemia, I mean, it's
it
chronic. There's no
happens,
cure, but
right?
yes,
But there are
it's
certain
just I'm conflicted, you know.
there are
Sorry,
certain
Reverend Eliot. It's just the conviction, the
yeah, no,
confliction.
I I understand. So
Yeah.
this is what this card refers to, is that it's a lot of people need to understand this about those of us who are involved in a chronic situation. It takes up
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our time. It takes up a lot of our
Yes.
energy. It's not just a mental thing. I mean, it's
No.
your whole life is about to change. Now
Yes,
I
it is. And it's,
you know
yeah.
I've been there, and I'm
Mm.
but to me, I just I keep going, and what happens happens. But Now, you see, you are
Yes.
very, you are a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Diligent person. You know, that goes with what I
Mm-hmm.
said about the money. This is another money card too. It's the Eight of Coins. Now that also refers to starting something new, and like a new job or a new career or an idea that you want to flesh out, and you apply yourself to it so well that you get recognized for it with this card. And then that's the Eight of
Mm-hmm.
Coins. Now you have the counterpart here, the Eight of Cups, which is you are moving away from things in your life that you don't want to deal with that are no good. So you're moving towards things that are good for you, and you're moving towards a better way of life. So
You are
that's
absolutely correct. Yes.
good. That's important.
Yes.
Uh, the, there are two cards here that are almost I could see them from your type of reading. And these are major cards, so this is all important. The Strength card is here. That means you've got the strength to deal with this. You know, you may not want to. I know that feeling very well, but you do, and you will,
Yes.
because you're the kind of person who deals with what you need to deal with. And then there's the Temperance card.
You are 100% correct, Reverend Eliot.
And
Right on
here's
the
the
money.
well, these are your cards. They're not. I'm just saying what I see here. But it's you that I'm
Yes.
reading about, and the Temperance card here. That's important because that means your life has been thrown a bit out of balance, but you will get balance back. That's the important thing. So that's the message I'm seeing, which is, you know, it always has that card of great sadness in there, the Nine of Swords,
Yeah.
but it always moves towards an upbeat, positive message that the spirits have. And to me, I see. I see that you're going to come out of this okay, as well as you can. You know what I mean? I mean, we all know how it's going to end anyway for life.
Yes.
So, but you're going to be all right. You know, you have what it takes to deal with it. And the important thing is, oh, well, here's an interesting thing here too. The Nine
Boy.
of Coins is here, that you're a person who is okay in solitude. You know, you don't need to be around people all the time. Doesn't mean you're a loner
Oh
or
my gosh.
am I correct?
Oh, I live alone and I'm quite content because I don't want the negativity in my life.
Well,
Wow. Yes.
Content is the word. That's the word I was groping for
Yes.
is contentment.
I am absolutely content.
A lot of people are scared by that card, because they think it means that they're going to be lonely and empty. No. You know, this is a whole different kind of thing. This is a whole thing. Now, I know that this is good for you because I have here the Ace of Cups, which means you're in a period that is emotionally well suited for you. So you're looking out for yourself emotionally and physically and mentally. What more can you do, right?
Yes. It does, like you said, Reverend Eliot, it does get draining. And that's why I was just wondering if there was like anything, because both my parents have passed with cancer, not the kind that I have, but a very different type, both of them the same. Their lifestyle was just a precursor of how their cancer came in their passing. But I'm just wondering if it's like, you know.
Well, one of the things I know from people I've known who are in medical sciences, because I found out many years ago that one of the best things that I could do for myself as I started aging was to get to know as many doctors as I can, you know. But the smartest thing I did in my 30s was I bought a walking stick, a nice solid walking stick, which comes in very handy now. That is take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself. Give yourself the days off that you may need. You know, take the time that you need. Sometimes I skip medical treatment sometimes because it's very draining, and I go through an awful lot, and I tell them that you got to understand. And it's odd to say this to doctors, but I've done. I said, you got to understand, because you don't seem to fully grasp this. You're dealing with sick people, and we're not necessarily up to every challenge at every moment, at every time, but we'll pull through and deal with most of them. is how I put it. And that's in life, that's good, you know. I mean, I
Yeah.
I remember seeing a sign
And
on the
that's what I'm
subway.
feeling when I said, like, earlier, sorry, Doctor,
No, go ahead.
Reverend Elliot,
Please go ahead.
with the doctors, like you had just said, that's very true because it is physically, mentally, and emotionally very draining. Like, I do get through it, but at the end, it's like, my gosh, why is this, you know? And on a good day, you
Mm,
don't even question anything.
right. Well, a lot of
I mean, that's
doctors
the human
don't.
psyche we
A
want.
lot of doctors can't deal with it. I mean, I met a depressed doctor one time because he was
Okay.
practicing long enough that his original patients were dying. And I said to him, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you should have expected this. You know, that's part of life, and it's happening. And you know, it got to him. But I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they need to build a wall around themselves, but they need to take care of themselves too. My belief firmly is you can't help other people till you help yourself. Otherwise, you won't be around to help other
Yes,
people. What I
I
was going to
completely agree.
what I was going to say about that, because I saw a sign on the subway when I was in my teens that affected me deeply. It said the odds in life
Oh,
are 2 to 1 against a dropout. And I thought, well, those are damn good
um,
odds in life if it's just 2 to 1 against, so I'll take it. And
yes.
I considered strongly dropping out of school. Uh, uh, what my decision was, I'll leave for another time. But you know, the odds are 2 to 1. If I could be
Yes.
if I could be assured of that, I would have taken the deal. You know, but
Of course, yes.
because you know I've seen so much in life. I mean, I've seen people die. I've it's just weird what you
Well, you've
see.
been through a lot too, obviously. I'm so sorry.
Well, it happens though. I mean,
Mm.
I was sick a few years ago, and they wrote me off,
Mm.
and they put me in a room where I was the
Oh
only one who
boy.
didn't die, and they were kind of upset that I hadn't died. But it was so depressing. It drove one of the nurses crazy. She said, "I didn't sign up for this." She said as she ran out screaming.
Yeah, and
So
that's
you know, we are dealing
yeah,
with people. You know, so don't you know
yeah.
just
And that's
just
how it becomes because if I'm left in a room like that by myself or for treatment or even seeing my doctors and what you're saying, there's so much truth to that. It's a
uh,
feeling like a dooming feeling or am I going to be okay or
yeah,
and then you do what you have to do and then your life continues. But at the
right.
moment, it's like, oh my goodness, is there somebody
Well,
watching over me? Am I being, you know?
I'm gonna leave you with one thought because I think it's
Okay,
important. I had an
thank you.
altercation when I was in the hospital a year ago. I had an altercation with a doctor who had done something
Okay.
wrong, and he wouldn't admit that it was wrong. It was I don't want to go into the
Oh my
details.
God,
It's just a big mess. And
I did too.
I told him to just back off. And I said to him, I
Oh my
upset him.
God.
I said, and I deliberately upset him. I ended up saying to him, look, you know, I'm not going to take orders from you just because you went to a vocational school. And he
Mm-hmm.
flipped. He was a surgeon, you know, and he flipped out because they have a God complex, surgeons. And I had a team of
Yes.
doctors were ordered to meet with me and find out what the problem was. And when I explained it, one of the youngest of the
Mm-hmm.
doctors said, and this is important, he said,
Okay.
well, at least we know we're not dealing with a passive patient. So you see, that's when I realized
Oh
don't be a
my
passive
God.
patient. They seem to they seem to not like that, even though you make things a little difficult for them. They
Reverend Elliot.
they respect it.
So yes, I just
Mhm.
have to tell you, the word you just used was what my doctor used on me.
Oh, really? What was that?
Yes,
Passive? Oh,
passive. You are definitely not a passive person
good.
when it
There you
comes
go.
to your health.
Good.
My goodness. Wow.
It's your health.
Yeah.
It's nobody else's health. You know, it's
Yes.
yours.
Yes.
So listen, I'm going to light a nice white candle after the show for you and for the spirit of your parents. And I think you're going to be fine. And, you know, you can drop me a line anytime you want and I'll take a look at a few cards for you. I just, you know, as a fellow consumer of the medical sciences. How's that? Okay. I'm not
Oh,
drumming up
thank you
business
so
here.
much.
I'm not gonna charge you for it. So you can contact me through my website anytime if you need to. Okay.
And that is a link that's on the site here.
Yes, there's a contact page at magic-works.com or mojoacademy.org or even askoneradio.com. You can find my site through there and find the contact page. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Reverend Eliot.
Be well.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye bye now. And let's shuffle them up. You know, it's a whole different world when you start entering the medical arena. You know, oh brother, you know. Uh, I was thinking of having business cards made up that just list instead of tarot reader or occult practitioner, just patient. You know, but I'm not a very patient at sometimes. So let's move along now to Jeanette. Is that how you pronounce it in Georgia?
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
Oh, hey, that's what I'm here for. Thank you for calling. I mean, without you, what would I do, right?
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate your kind words. So what can I look at for you?
Just been feeling really stuck for the last 6 months or so. Wondering if you can help me figure out what the blockages are.
Okay, listen, that's interesting because right here at the top of the deck is the Two of Coins, and that's a card of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, figuratively, they're balancing money, but it really is about a person who's juggling to try to get something going in life, and it isn't kind of working yet. So that's exactly what I've got here, you know. So yeah. Now, the good news is the next card is the Wheel of Fortune, and that means that your situation is going to change. Okay. Now it's going to be a very deep change because I have the Death card. Now it doesn't mean you're going to die. The Death card is important in tarot because it's been ruined by horror movies. But what it actually means is that one phase of your life is coming to an end, and a new phase is beginning. Because that card, if I don't know if you can see if on the live stream here, it has a sunrise on it. That means that a new day is beginning, which is very important in these cards. That you're this is completely common. What you're feeling for people who get cards like this is that you're about to enter a new phase in your life, and you're changing. Now, when you change, one of the first things you'll notice is you'll start losing friends, because they'll say, "What the hell happened to you?" But you're growing, you're changing. Here's another one, by the way, which is the Two of Swords. The Two of Coins is here, the Two of Swords. That's about feeling that your life is stuck, that you're in a stalemate position, that nothing is moving. So the cards are picking up exactly what you feel. So this is very good. Now the question is, how do you get out of this, right? And the answer is, well, you're a very spiritual person, I see, by the card of the Magician. You're able to take power from a spiritual realm and use it here. So you may want to start doing some meditation or prayer work. You can read like the Psalms in the Bible. See, that's a magic book in many ways. A lot of people don't realize it is the Book of Psalms. But I think you're going to be okay because you see, like here I have this is the Six of Swords. That's a person who's moving from where she is to where she wants to be, using her own efforts. It's just you're at the phase now where nothing seems to be moving. Well, this is a card that shows a person who can sweep away all obstacles. So when the time comes, if there's anything getting in your way, you're gonna get rid of it. You're just what you're feeling now is that your life is changing, and it's probably sometimes feels like it's not in your control, and it may not be, but it is changing, but the point is it's changing for the better. That's the main thing, that I note that you've been through some rough times. That's the Five of Rods. But you're headed for very plush times. The Nine of Cups, boy, oh boy, that is a happy person. There's a warning with that card that you're going to make people envious, not jealous, envious. There's a difference there.
Mm.
It's people don't get the difference, but you're going to do fine. You've got to you'll get through this period. You just have to trust your soul and yourself. Okay.
Mhm. I'm
But
wondering though, because I've been kind of like bed riding for lack of a better word, and I've gained like 25 pounds in the last 6 months, and it's just
well, I
eating a lot of
yeah,
junk food, and I trying to
I
figure out how to move past it because I'll be okay for a week and then I kind of go back to that place again and kind of self isolate. And the thing is, I feel very content and happy, but I know that I need to get out into the world, and I just feel
yeah.
like no matter what
Well,
I try, it just
Well, you're changing. That's what I'm seeing. So that's the awkwardness. Now, let me
mm,
tell you something. I want when I was in my 30s, I gained like 100 pounds.
mm,
And when I was 50, I said, "The hell with this," and I started an exercise and diet routine. And in 9 months, I took the weight off. You know, and I've been able to keep it
right.
off ever since. This is, unless of course, I weigh 500 pounds and I'm using a special camera. Who knows, right? I don't trust anything I see on the internet. But, it
Right.
happens. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just when the time comes, you'll take care of it. Um, I have the justice card here, which tells me that you been maybe cheated out of something or treated not properly by
Because my
somebody.
past relationship, I poured out too much and I didn't cut it off when I should have. I gave too much of myself and wasn't receiving it back in return.
Oh, that's painful. That's terrible. Well, this card tells me that you're going to make up for that. You have justice coming, and the Queen of Swords is here too. That's a stern woman with a sword. That's a woman who can take what's
Right.
hers. So I think you're going to work that out. I'm seeing nothing but happiness here for you. I'm seeing cards of happiness and joy. Things like the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Cups means that new emotional relationships are going to come into your life. So, you know, be gentle with yourself at this point because you're hurting, right? And the last thing you need is to hurt yourself, if you know what I mean. Let me put it this
Mhm.
way. I'm a big believer in telling people not to put themselves down because the world is full
Mhm.
of people who will very gladly do that for you. You know that. You've
Mm.
seen them. We've all seen them. Um,
Mhm.
I've been guilty of that myself. I did that with somebody once, and I was dead wrong. And I think I apologized about 20 years later, but because that's how long it was till I'd seen him
Yeah.
again, after what I did. But I
Mm.
just want you to understand that there's you're going to be okay. What I'm seeing here is the King of
Mhm.
Coins. Money will be okay. The Star
Mm.
is here. That's hope and optimism, and it means things are going to be good. And the Ace of Swords is here, and that's very, 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 and the Ace of Rods. Now, those are very important because aces mean new beginnings, and the rods refer to career and your work and the kind of jobs you have. And if you don't have something now, you will. And then the Ace of Swords means your mind is changing, you're growing, you're learning to see the world differently. So, if there's things happening that you don't like, I believe that that you can fix that and you'll take care of that. And let me tell you, it's just as natural to lose weight as to gain weight. If that wasn't true, it would be insane. And nothing in nature is insane, except a few people I went out with. But we'll talk about that another time. The Yeah, 25 pounds is not that hard unless you're 4'8", then maybe it's a problem. But, you can do it, and when the time comes, you will do
Yeah.
it. And it's a very rewarding feeling, it's nice. I'd
Mm.
mentioned earlier that I was at a celebrity type party where I was named the best
Mhm.
dressed. Well, I invited a theatrical producer to that same party because I was able to bring along a few people and I hadn't seen him in a while.
Mhm.
And that was the period of time where I lost about 120 pounds. And I went right up to him at the party and said hello, and he didn't know who the hell I was. Yeah, and
Oh
he was
my.
shocked when I told him. So, we can do these things. It's a matter of
Hmm.
not beating yourself up and a confluence of time and place. That's what we want is when we know we're ready, we'll do it. Okay. So hang in there because you're
Okay.
knocking at the door of great changes that are going to be really, really good for you. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Do you
here I
happen
see
to
another,
have like a
I see,
time,
pardon?
like a time frame maybe, or like any advice on how to make those changes I know I need to make?
It's happening now and it's coming.
Okay.
That's the Ace of Swords. That means it's happening now. That right now
Okay.
you're developing a whole new way of thinking and seeing the world, and that's where your treasure is going to come from. Okay, so
Okay.
you're getting there. Okay,
I appreciate you, and that is so true.
well, thank you very much. But these are your cards, and they're talking to you. Okay, so hang in there because I think things are going to get much better for you. Okay,
Thank you so much for that reassurance. Have a wonderful night, and thanks again.
thank you. Bye bye. And let's just get to the next call because I only have a few minutes left, and we'll go to Joni in Austin, Texas. Hi, Joni. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight, Joni?
I'm great, thank you.
Beautiful. What can I look at for you?
Um, Whatever you decide.
Well, the card I have at the top of the deck here is the Empress. That's a person who makes things grow and makes things happen and is a catalyst. And is that the kind of person you are, or should I take another card?
No, that would be me.
Okay, so let's put that back in the deck and shuffle it up and see where we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got the Empress again here in these cards here. The cards I have are interesting here. I have the Eight of Coins. That's a person who works assiduously at a job and is recognized for the work that she does, and it'll lead to other things. So if you're starting a new project, or if you're being offered something new at work, or if you're not working but a new job offer comes your way, you might want to consider it because you'll do very well there. And that's followed again by the Empress, which means when you go there, you'll make things happen. Now that's followed by the Tower struck by lightning, which means that sudden change will enter your life after that.
Hmm.
Followed by the Two of Swords, which means there'll be a period of tranquility and calm, but that's followed by the Magician, and that's another. The Empress and the Magician; these are powerful people. So I'm looking at changes are coming into your life, but changes for the better. I don't know if there's anything that you're dissatisfied with in life at the moment, but it's not going to it's not going to last long. The
Yeah,
situation.
this all
Yeah,
makes sense.
you're you're going to supremely triumph over this. Okay.
I
Now
believe
the
so.
Eight of Rods is here. That's a card that means it's on the way. It's almost here. What's happening? What's going to happen? Followed by the Ten of Cups, which is a card of great joy and happiness. The Knight of Coins suggests a new income stream, but be careful with it because it'll be up and down, and it'll be exciting and interesting, but it won't be steady, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
But here's the Knight of Swords, which is means that mentally and financially things are changing for you and growing. This is a time of a lot of change for people. Right now, you're in a period of rest in terms of things happening in your life. That's what I got here from the Four of Swords. Uh,
That's true.
the But now there's an interesting card here, which is the Six of Coins, which is about receiving money. That could mean that somebody's going to make you an offer for something, and that goes back to the Eight of Coins. So, you're right at the precipice of something new happening in your life, and it's good. I mean, now, if it wasn't good, I'd certainly tell you. But what I'm seeing is
Mhm.
that it's going to be very good. I'll
Thank
shuffle it
you.
up again and see there. But if you've been saying when is this going to change already, it's that's where you're headed. It's changing, and the nature of that change is going to be very good, really good. I'm going to see if I can pull out one or two more here, and I'll cut the deck again. And what do we get here? We get the Temperance card. That means if there was any unbalance in your life, it's going to be restored. That's the return of balance. And of course, here's the Queen of Swords. That's a very serious woman, a strong woman who knows how to stand up for what's hers. And this is good. These are very good cards here.
This is really good reading.
Yeah, it's dynamite. Now this is kind of. I learned long ago that you get more good readings than bad readings. People are trained to expect bad readings because of bad movies, like Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. I like the movie, but everybody who gets a reading turns out to die. And they made up tarot cards in there that don't exist so that they could kill you with them. But no, the tarot isn't like that. It just doesn't work that way. The thing is that the fact that you're looking into what's going on in your life is a sign that you're willing to take control over what's going on in your life and deal with it. And that doesn't mean to be a control freak, but you're willing to take advice from a stranger. That means you're willing to listen and think. You can throw out everything I say if you want or not. That's your prerogative, of course. But the fact that you're seeking is the reason that you're going to get a positive outcome, because you're not closed off. I've known far too many. I mean, I was in the comedy business for years, and it was not uncommon to see people who never, ever, ever, ever got a laugh, and they always just blamed the audience. Now, really? one of the funniest guys to do that was Larry David. I mean, if the audience wasn't laughing, he would just he would curse them out and storm off the stage. But he learned, he learned to listen to the audience, and look where he went, right? So there you go.
I know.
Well, I've got to run. I've only got 60 seconds left, so I like ending on this high note. You're headed for a very good time. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Your reading is very relevant. Bye-bye.
Oh, great. Thank you. So that's it. We've come to the end of another edition of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, and any doubts I had about my voice holding out, well, I was a real chatterbox today, wasn't I? My microphone is my friend. I like my microphone. So there we go. I don't know if I need a microphone anymore. I mean, this new computer has a nice built-in set of speakers and mic sounding stuff. But hey, look, I'll see you again next week. Yes, I will. Gosh darn it. And that'll be here. I'm here every Wednesday, and you can contact me at asktarot@earthlink.net. And hey, I really enjoyed being with you, and I know I missed a few shows because the computer broke, but I'm still here, and the new computer's fine. So I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye now.